All right, you guys, I am officially a dad. This is crazy. Everybody meet my son. This is Judah Eli Peterson. Now, this is so crazy. In my last video that I talked about, I'm gonna be a dad. I told you guys, I never thought that I would be saying at 23, 24 years old, I'm gonna be a dad. I thought that that was gonna be years down the line for me. But the Lord blessed me and my amazing wife with our beautiful baby boy, and I am officially now a dad, which is so crazy to say. And when you guys are seeing this, he is officially a week old, which is so, he had to go to the bathroom. This entire process has been absolutely amazing. I don't even know where to start with the story, so I'm just gonna start at the beginning and leave off where we're at. So February 17th, my wife and I went in for her scheduled induction at 8 p.m. Now, this is a couple of weeks before her due date. At her 37-week appointment, we found out that Mr. Judah was gonna be a big boy. He was measuring about 7 pounds and 12 ounces at that point, and we knew that he was gonna be big. So because of that, we decided to schedule an early induction for him, which I'm so glad we did, because once we get into this story, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness. So we decided to go into the hospital February 17th at 8 p.m. to get Julia induced. So that night they give her this stuff called Cytotec, and they give her a couple of doses just to get her, you know, kind of into the process of labor, since her body wasn't there naturally, but he needed to come early. So about 10 p.m. that night we got there, they gave her first dose of Cytotec. 2 a.m. they gave her her next dose of Cytotec, and then 6 a.m. they gave her her third and final dose of Cytotec. Now, what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to help Julia get into labor quicker. So after 3 doses of Cytotec, they kind of check to see how dilated she is. You have to be 10 centimeters in dilation in order to start pushing, and after the 3 doses of Cytotec, she was a 0. So at 10 a.m. that following morning, they decided to give her something else called Pitocin. Now, this Pitocin is steadily given to her at this, and they continue to just up the amount they're giving her throughout the hours that she is going into labor. Now, my wife's birth plan was she wanted to have a natural birth, natural delivery, didn't want the epidural, none of that. She just wanted to do everything as natural as she could. Well, that did not go as planned. So after a couple of hours of Pitocin, till about 4 p.m., she had still not progressed at all. And at this point, you know, she's in labor, she's tired, I'm tired, and she kind of had to decide at this point, almost 24 hours in, am I gonna get the epidural or am I not? Like, how are we gonna get my body into labor? And because her body just wasn't progressing, they decided they wanted to do something called a Foley balloon, which it kind of imitates the baby's head. So they put a balloon inside of her, and they fill it up with saline, and they kind of tug on it to act like the motion of baby's head coming out. So at this point she says, okay, I'm gonna get the epidural, and it was not as bad as she was expecting. She thought it was gonna be so bad, and she said the IV in her hand was worse. So there's that. That went better than we could have expected. And then the Foley balloon, the doctor said she didn't think was gonna be ready to take out until the morning, and they take it out when it helps her get to about 5 centimeters dilated. And within an hour and a half of when they put it in at 5, and at 6:30 they took it out, and she was 5 centimeters dilated, which was so crazy, and it went so fast. So that was absolutely crazy, and I'm actually gonna have mom come and get Mr. Judah because he has to use the bathroom and get fed. He's so cute. How are you doing, Mom? I'm gonna have her come in.
Hi.
Hey. This is the little warrior right here. Went through everything. I'm telling him the story right now.
Yeah.
Went through everything. Mr. Judah here.
Oh.
And she just did such a good job, but
I'm doing good.
how you doing? You doing good?
A week out from having him. It's crazy. It's gone so fast. In the moment, it was very, very hard, obviously. It's super hard to go through. One of the hardest, probably definitely the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But I've already forgotten how traumatic it was, and I'm ready to do it again. Because we love him so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We love him so much. He's the best.
Here you go. He's hungry, and he needs to be changed for you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, so where was I at? We're gonna finish the story because he's on a scheduled feeding and stuff like that. This point, after she'd been given the epidural and they started to give her more Pitocin, her blood pressure dropped a lot. She started feeling lightheaded, a lot of different things. And so she ended up having to get full of a lot of other medications as well to bring her blood pressure and all of that back up. And so there was just so many different drugs and medicines they had to give to her, which again, that wasn't her preference, but it was the safest thing, and that's what she needed to help her body get into this process of labor. labor. And so anyways, long story short, I don't want to bore you with the details, but around 12 hours with more Pitocin, the epidural, and continuing to dilate, she ended up getting to a 10 centimeter dilation at about 6 a.m. that following morning. So we went into the hospital on the 17th. She got to a 10 on the morning of the 19th. We went in the night of the 17th. She's at a 10 in the morning of the 19th, and she starts to push. Now, normally most people don't push for that long. She pushed for 4 hours on and off with some breaks, and there just really wasn't any progress with the baby coming down to where he needed to be birthed naturally. And at this point, you know, she's tired, we're tired. The doctor came in and kind of just evaluated everything and said, he's not gonna come out where you want him to. And so we have to go into a C-section. It wasn't like an emergency situation, but it was pretty much, you know, you're at a 10, you're tired, you have gone through so much labor. At this point, it's almost 40 hours of labor, and we hadn't slept for who knows how long, like maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep in the past 48 hours, 50 hours. And she was just like, okay, let's do the C-section. So 20 minutes, the doctors go get the OR, the operating room ready. Everybody gets ready, and within that time, they are now coming in to get Julia to wheel her into the operating room, and I gotta be there as well. So I put on all kinds of like a sterile outfit basically, and this is like, okay, he's coming. They're gonna do the surgery. He's gonna be here. That's what's gonna happen. So about 20 minutes after they brought her into the operating room, they ended up coming to get me and say, Dad, all right, we're ready for you. And within a minute of me stepping in there, he was here. Like, so crazy. I'm gonna show you a clip right here of the moment that he got here.
Oh, you are heavy. Oh my goodness. Hey, your eyes, they do look blue. Oh my goodness. Oh, what's on your lip?
And so, yeah, the C-section, like nobody really prepared me for going into a C-section room to see that. Honestly, I wasn't prepared. I was kind of nervous just because you hear the doctors talking and you hear all sorts of things. And there ended up being a little mishap where when they pulled him out, he ended up being so big. He was 9 pounds and 1 ounce and 22 inches long that it kind of tore in a place where it shouldn't have. So they ended up having to stitch her up there and do a blood transfusion just because she lost some blood. So that was a little scary as well. But the doctors, nurses, staff, everybody was absolutely amazing. They showed up when they need to, they did what they had to do, and they kept her safe. And this was the biggest confirmation from God. I thought it was so cool. They allowed Julia to play her worship playlist, and they actually played Julia's song, which is so cool, during the C-section. But at the end, when everything kind of slowed down, they knew Julia was okay. They're stitching her up, all that stuff. Almost all of the nurses in that room were singing the worship songs that were playing on Julia's playlist. And I felt like it was kind of just God like winking at us like, hey, I've got you guys, and I've got the exact people you need here in this room to operate and to do the things that they need to do. And regardless, you know, whether they were singing that song or not, literally, I truly believe that God equipped each and every single one of those people to do the job that they needed to do, to take care of Julia and to help our baby boy get here. And so now, fast forward, we go to a recovery room where Julia starts recovering. She ends up getting discharged 2 days later, and then Judah ends up getting discharged 3 days later. We had to stay 1 extra day for him because his bilirubin levels were a little high, so we had to put him under this Billy blanket and these blue lights to help bring that down. I had to stay up really, really late that night because he did not like those lights. They can't have any clothes on or anything, just a diaper, so he was cold, he did not like it, so I just had to sit there from like 6 p.m. till 4:30 a.m. just constantly rocking him back to sleep, making sure that he was able to get rest and everybody else was able to get rest because Julia went through a lot. And also my mom and my sister and then Julia's mom and dad helped a ton during this process, and so it was just crazy, you guys. But we eventually got ready to where Judah got discharged and we were able to bring him home, and we made our way home. Now we've been home probably now for about 3 or 4 days, and by the time you're seeing this, we'll have been home for about a week. Man, taking care of a newborn, it's intense. There's a lot of things you have to do. They constantly need you, but what a blessing it is that our babies need us and we need to take care of them. And it's just helped Julia and I learn so much. We've had our parents here helping us, but it's also helped us with teamwork, just understanding like what we have to do when. So the process is eventually gonna look something like, once everybody leaves, I wake up, change him, get him out of his clothes, she feeds, then I burp him while she pumps, and then we put him back to bed. Hopefully it'll only take about 35 minutes every time in the night so we can get some decent sleep. Yeah, he's been such a good baby. We're praying he just continues to be such a good baby. He really doesn't cry that much unless he's uncomfortable or he's cold or anything like that, and he sleeps all the time. He's just the cutest baby ever. But yeah, you guys, I'm officially a dad, and it's crazy. And I've started to just think about life on such a deeper level and just think about all the people I love and care about. And like, I just don't want him to grow up. Like Julie and I were talking about it. We were already so sad that he's almost a week old. It's like, what? Where did the time go? And it just really makes you think about life and how life is a vapor and you have a short amount of time here and you just have to do the best you can to make the most with the people you love the most, make memories and impact people for Christ with the time you have. And that's just our goal. And it really helps you realign and reset your priorities in life and helps you to evaluate what matters most in life. There's so many things, so many distractions, so many things going on, but it's truly like what matters the most? Where do you focus the most of your energy? And that should be towards God, number one, your spouse and your kids and your family and the people you love. And it's just help us to really think about those things. So anyways, you guys, that's it. I'm a dad. I can't believe it. I'm sure you guys are going to see a ton of him on Julia's channel. I'm going to put Julia's channel right here. You guys can go subscribe to her channel, go watch all sorts of content there. We're doing a lot more family lifestyle content there. You're going to still see all the fun videos that I'm doing on my page. She's going to do some fun ones as well. But that is the update. I'm officially a dad. It is one of the greatest joys of my life. I cannot believe I'm saying that I'm a dad, and it's just been so amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, hearing all about the birth process, how Judah got here, and now he's here, and I'm a dad, which is so crazy, and it's just the biggest blessing. So I love you guys. Again, go subscribe to Julia's channel if you haven't. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I pray you guys are just absolutely incredible. You're chasing the Lord, and in the meantime, I'm gonna keep improving my dad skills. All right, see you guys.